this could be the perfect way for Stranger Things Season 5 to end. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another Stranger Things video. It always feels good to say that. So I have a fun little theory or what if video today for the ending of Stranger Things Season 5. This is not going to be some, it was all a dream, it was all a D&D campaign nonsense. This is going to be a theory, or rather a route that Stranger Things could go that I think would be highly satisfying, and I've had a vision of it ever since I made my Stranger Things Madness bracket, which I'll link that video up above. Be sure to go fill out your own bracket, share it with me if you haven't already, but I've not been able to shake this thought, and I was like, I gotta make this into a video. I have to do it. So before I get into it and share my thought with you, hit that like button, comment down below a way that you would love for Stranger Things to end, and of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. I mean, quite a bit. But without further ado, I say we just get down to business. So as we all know, Stranger Things Season 5 will be the final season. We do not have a release date yet. We know it's coming out this year, probably gonna be in the fall. We don't know when. More news to come at Tadum, where we could and probably will get our first teaser trailer. I have my calendar marked for May 31st, so we didn't get anything on Will Byers' birthday, which was March 22nd. The next day to look ahead to, May 31st. I was like, should I make a full video about that? And I was like, you know what? No, I've talked about that enough. I'll save a Tadum update for later on when we actually get more info on the event. In the meantime, while we wait, while we have sort of a dry time period for Stranger Things news, I said, let's make a video about the ending, because when I made my bracket video, I went back through and watched a lot of clips from Stranger Things. That means I got all in my feels, all right? I was rewatching some of my favorite moments from all the episodes, listening to a lot of the music. In fact, the Stranger Things official playlist on Spotify, it has been on rotation for me for the past week and a half, I'd say, just really getting back in the spirit of Stranger Things. Not to say I ever lost it, obviously, but I just have like almost wanted to start a rewatch really soon. And so during this process of sort of getting back in the groove and really gearing up for a new season, I had a vision that I have not been able to shake about how I think Stranger Things Season 5 should come to an end. And it all starts with a song. For those who don't know, in my Stranger Things Madness bracket, I had 4 different regions: characters, episodes, moments, and songs. And in that songs category, I compiled about 16 of the most popular, iconic, or famous songs from Stranger Things that were songs used on the soundtrack. So not original pieces of music composed by Kyle Dixon or Michael Stein for the score, such as like Kids, Biking to School, Walking Hawkins, or, 8:15. Those are all tracks. The First I Love You, those are all tracks from the score. I only included popular songs used on the Stranger Things soundtrack. And one of those songs is Heroes by Peter Gabriel. We hear this song played twice over the course of Stranger Things. The first time we hear it is in Season 1, Episode 3, Holly Jolly. It plays at the end of the episode when Will's body, his fake body, is found in the quarry, and this starts to play as we see him, and then we pan over to Hopper. We see the kids in 11, and they're like, it's Will. It's really Will.
It's Will. It's really Will.
We then see Mike sort of storm off. It's also playing as Mike gets home and hugs his mom. Like, this mother-son embrace happens, and then the same happens with Joyce and Jonathan in the middle of the road. They're illuminated by headlights. It is a beautiful, tragic at the time way to end that episode, and that moment has always really stuck with me as Heroes plays. Well, fast forward to Season 3, the finale, the Battle of Starcourt, the 8th episode of Season 3, and we hear the song played yet again. This time around, it is also at the end of an episode. It plays after 11 reads Hopper's letter, which already emotionally wrecked me, and the score that plays there from Kyle Dixon and Michael Stein will get the waterworks going. But as she's crying, just having finished reading the letter, that song starts to play as the Byers' house is being fully packed up, and they're getting ready to ship off to California, which we obviously see in Season 4. But it's played as this really emotional sequence is happening where everyone's saying goodbye to the Byers and 11, and at the very end of the episode, we see Joyce take one last look at the Byers' house, and then she closes the door, and the song goes, just for one day, just for one day. And then we cut to credits. Now, obviously, there is a post-credit scene teasing Hopper and Russia, but for the purposes of this, it's the end of the episode. So, we've heard Heroes twice in Stranger Things. The first time was in Season 1, Ep 3 at the end of an episode. The second time was in Season 3, Ep 8 at the end of the episode. And having listened to that, rewatched those 2 moments, I cannot help but shake a perfect ending for Stranger Things Season 5. Now, I want to make it clear, my theories, my thoughts are going to change for Season 5's ending. I'll have 30 more theories on how I think the show could end once we get more footage and kind of have a general idea of where the season is actually going to go. But for right now, I have what I believe to be a perfect ending for Stranger Things Season 5. And you guessed it, it involves Heroes by Peter Gabriel. So my idea for an ending is this. We have a time jump at the end of the main events of Season 5, and in this world that I'm envisioning, Vecna has been defeated, and this could come with the tragic loss of one of our main characters. I believe it will be Eleven who bites the dust. I've said thousands of times on the channel that when the Upside Down goes away, Eleven's got to go with it, because when she arrived, things turned upside down. I've said that for years now. And so Eleven and Vecna are no more, and this season is going to take place in the fall of 1987, as confirmed in the episode reveal video teaser that we got on Stranger Things Day last year. So we're in the fall of 1987, and the main events of Season 5 and present day come to an end. Then we get an epilogue. Every single season of Stranger Things, the finale, has an epilogue. The last one in Season 4 was 2 days. Past seasons, it has been 1 month. Sometimes it's multiple months. So with this one, I think we're going to have the biggest time jump for an epilogue in the history of Stranger Things. I think they're going to jump ahead to 1989. The reason I say this is because a while ago in downtown Jackson, Georgia, which is the real-life filming location for Hawkins, there was some signage that said 1989 congrats graduates, all right? Take that all with a grain of salt. That could have been complete BS, but I saw that. It was in one of my update videos a long time ago. So the theory goes, we're going to have an epilogue and see whoever survives of the main kids graduate from Hawkins High School. Well, let's say they have their graduation. Maybe one of our main kids gives a speech. It could be Mike, could be Will, could be Dustin, could be all of them speaking about their time in Hawkins High School. Not sure why they'd be given the reason to speak, but you never know. Who's to say, right? They could give a speech for some reason. We could even get our Mr. Clark cameo here. It'd be pretty damn cool, okay? Let me live. But let's imagine they go out, they celebrate, and then we hear Heroes start to play, and this marks the beginning of a montage, a sequence saying goodbye to the rest of the characters in Stranger Things. Heroes could start to play, and then we could see whoever's alive at that point having one final moment. Prior to this, they could all have like a real important scene, but this could be like their final goodbye, right? It could be Steve leaving Hawkins. It could be some of our kids going off to college. It could be Hopper and Joyce finally having that date at Enzo's. Whatever it is, we could have some sort of really emotional montage where we see every character at a happy end point, all the while Heroes is playing, which I think would really pack an emotional punch because we would have heard it twice before in really important moments in Stranger Things. So to hear it one more time in the final moments of the show, I think would really, you know, strike a chord with us and get the waterworks going probably, because it's just such a moving piece of music. But this is the real kicker. This is the moment that I have not been able to shake. We see whoever it may be that's alive at that point having like one final moment, driving off, you know, leaving Hawkins, going to wherever they're going. But the four main kids, Will, Mike, Lucas, Dustin, in this theory, they all live through Season 5, okay? And they're together one last time. Maybe they all, you know, ride up in bikes to the Wheeler house, and then we see them in the basement, sort of montaging through one final D&D campaign, and then one by one, they slowly start to get up and say goodbye. It ends with Mike or Will, or both of them, getting up, walking away from the table, and we sort of zoom in, and as that's happening, the music says, just for one day, and then boom, that's the final shot of Stranger Things, is D&D around the table, but they're not there anymore because they've all grown up and gone their separate ways. I have chills right now just thinking about this moment. Obviously, there could be plenty of other final shots they use in Stranger Things, but I feel like this would really parallel the first time we see all the main kids together. They're playing D&D in the basement, so it would be a nice bookend, full circle moment that would feel satisfying. Obviously, the kids would have grown up in front of our eyes. They'd be going off to college, and while, you know, they might not be able to see each other as much, there's still the party forever as they have that one final moment together in the Wheeler basement. I would be a mess, especially if Heroes is playing by Peter Gabriel. It would wreck me. I don't know if that's the route they're going to go. It's just a vision I had, and I have not been able to shake it. So I had to get it out somewhere. I had to get it out of my system. I would love this ending, especially because I think the use of songs in multiple seasons hits different. We've seen it before. The Duffers are no strangers to reusing songs intentionally, as When It's Cold I Like to Die is used in Season 1, the finale, when Hopper and Joyce find Will's body in the Upside Down, and of course it's used again in Season 4, Ep 9, The Piggyback, the Season 4 finale, when Eddie dies, and it's also playing as Lucas is holding Max when she dies, and then obviously gets revived by Eleven. But still, the Duffers intentionally reuse music, and I feel like Heroes is a special song that really is synonymous with Stranger Things at this point, at least that version, and so to have it play over the end of Stranger Things Season 5 would be perfection in my mind. Not only would it match the pattern of having the song appear in season 1, then season 3, then season 5, so every other season or the odd-numbered seasons, but it would really, I think, capture the emotions we're all feeling and allow for the show to have a spectacular ending that doesn't leave a dry eye in the room. I believe Heroes playing over a montage in the epilogue is a must, and if it happens, it could end up being the perfect ending for Stranger Things. But that's just a vision I had, okay? Those are some of the thoughts that I have when I'm going on my long walks with my headphones in, listening to the official Stranger Things playlist. Heroes came on. That came to me. I have not been able to get that vision out of my mind, so I said, you know what? I gotta share this with you all because I feel like you might like to hear it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think a perfect ending for Stranger Things 5 would be. What do you think of this vision that I had? It struck me like lightning, and I was like, I gotta get this out of my system. So thank you guys for watching. Just wanted to get on here and kind of literally word vomit, get it all out of my system. But what are your predictions for how Stranger Things Season 5 is going to end? Do you want to see more videos like this, sort of just off the dome, where I give you a vision or theory that I have for like how a specific scene or sequence could play out? Because I would love to do more of these. Of course, hit that like button, subscribe to that notification bell, and stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on the other side of the Upside Down.